Hello everybody! Today we're going to be reviewing different clay techniques that you can use in your artwork. The first one is our simplest technique. This is the pinch pot. So you start with a ball of clay and you can roll it between your hands, or you can also roll on the table to try to get it as smooth as possible. And then you hold out your thumb, press it in, but not all the way through because we're not making a donut, we're making a pot. And then with these remaining fingers, you're going to make this crab claw motion. So squeeze and turn, and you continue doing this until that hole in the middle is widened. Now the pinch pot seems very simple, can be very basic. You could just decorate it, add some texture, and you're good to go. But you can also create it more elaborate things like this pout fish. The mouth is a pinch pot, and then we had added on some different materials. So don't let the simpleness of the pinch pot hold you back. You can do a lot of cool things with the very simple pinch pot. The next technique on our list is slab. To do a slab sculpture, you'll need the slats and a wooden rolling pin. Usually I recommend that you stand for this part. So you can roll this way, I could flip, rotate, and roll this way. The job of the slats is to help preserve the thickness of your clay. So however thick the slats are, that's how thick your clay will end up being. And with this, you could use a cookie cutter to cut it out. You can draw a shape and cut it out. You could create a box using this technique, and you can make connections and walls. I could use a lot of different fun textures with a slab. There's a lot of things that you can do. Here's an example of a project that was made with slabs. It's a little wall pocket. So the back would be one piece of slab, and then this pocket is a second slab. And what the artist would do is put newspaper or tissue paper or paper towels in here so that you can drape the second slab over. And then when it dries, you take out those papers so you have that nice pocket. Okay. The next technique on the list is coil. Coil is the process of rolling out long, like snake-like pieces. Now, when I roll like this, my paper's gonna kind of move on me, so sometimes you just wanna roll right on the table. The trick with rolling is you start with your hands together, and you're moving them back and forth and slowly spreading them out. So just try to keep at it. This was a project that I was terrible at all the way through elementary school, middle school, high school. I was a terrible coil roller. It does get better. So because felt like I was not good at it, I never did coil projects. I always avoided them, and they kind of scared me. But if you just keep at something, the more practice you get, the better you get. So I have become a better coil roller, although this one is still looking kind of like a flatworm. Some coil projects can be used in really neat ways. You can also make pots out of coils. This one, it wasn't finished, but you can see it's got a coil here, and this is also a coil, just done in a different way. This is the top of a cupcake that's done in a coil, and then it would have had a pinch pot bottom. So coils can be really fun. They can also be decorations, like on that wall pocket again. These are coils, okay? So you can use them as decoration. All right, let's talk about some words. Additive and subtractive are words that we use in the clay world. Additive meaning that you add clay to clay, and subtractive meaning to take away. So if I wanted to add a piece of clay onto an existing piece of clay, if I just stick it on, it's not going to stay, all right? So we need to do something called slipping and scoring. You use a tool to score the clay, which is us making a series of hashtag marks, like that. And then you also do it in the spot where it's gonna go. And then you use your slip, which is basically just watered down clay, and get it wet, both sides. And then you're gonna press and blend. The blend is the part that a lot of people forget to do, and it's really important. Blending means that you are rubbing, a slippery finger helps with this, and getting rid of that seam. okay? If you have parts that look rough or bumpy now, those are going to be sharp when you take it out of the kiln. So we want things to look smooth, okay? And you want to have nice joints and nice connections. To get in a place like this, just turn your piece and rub and smooth that, okay? So that's additive, adding on. Subtractive, you can use carving tools. These loops are nice. And you can carve away clay, and that would be subtractive. And then I can just take a wet fingertip and smooth that down, okay? And again, anything that looks rough now is going to be sharp. So we want to smooth that down. Okay, other things, other words, functional, sculptural. Functional clay is things that have a purpose. Like if this one was finished, this would be a container. You could put something in it. It has a function. Right now, actually, because it's broken, it's more decorative or sculptural. The wall pocket has a function. A cup or a mug or a box would have a function. Some of these, they don't really have a purpose. They're more sculptural, decorative. Okay, this piece that's kind of starting to turn out, this would be sculptural. Doesn't have a function right now, and it's a little more abstract too. It doesn't necessarily resemble anything, and that's okay. You know, I can add on more and kind of create something. Could maybe even be a lid to a box. All right, so those are clay techniques. Those are things you're going to want to keep in mind. You can combine the pinch technique, the slab technique, the coil technique. You can add on clay, you can take off clay. All right, there are a lot of options in the clay world, and we have a lot of really wonderful texture tools to enhance your piece. So, I encourage you to combine and discover some cool ways.